welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're going to cover the rifle used at Red Oktober 2018. I chose to run the Golani in Red Oktober 2018 for the incredibly practical reason is I had some friends coming in from overseas that were coming to shoot the match as well, and I gave them all the AKs that I have. So, not wanting to pass up the opportunity to use the match, the fact that this rifle qualified for the light Kalash category, figured why not go for it. And this is the rifle I used at Red Oktober 2018, a Century Arms Golani, which essentially is an Israeli Galil. It's all Galil parts except for the receiver and the other things that are required to make it 922R compliant. So everybody, let's not get too wrapped around the axle about whether it's a Golani or if it's a Galil. The rifle has worked for me. This was one of the first ones that came out. I've never had any problem except for on stage 7 of Red Oktober where I had a double feed. That's the only time in the all these years I've owned the rifle that it's ever given me an issue. So everybody's saying that Century is crap. Well, I gotta say, this rifle works, so maybe I have the one that works. I ran in Kalashnikov Light because this rifle's in 5.56, which that's the category it was for. And even though the Golani runs with 35 round magazines, they were downloaded to 30 to comply with the rules of the match. Other than that, there's really nothing about this rifle that's out of the ordinary. As you can see in some close-ups here, I still have my Utah dirt on it. And the rifle performed well. There's no complaints about how this rifle performed out there at Red Oktober. Any failings I had at Red Oktober are mine. On stage 1 I did induce my own double feed because I short stroked it when I racked the bolt. Stage 7 was a double feed, but like I said, in all the times I've owned the rifle, it's the only one I've ever had, so, you know, got to write that up as just, oh well, stuff happens because it's in a match. As you can see, I haven't been afraid to get this rifle dirty or scratched up. Right there on the receiver, it's plenty scratched up. And I chose to run a sling on the rifle during the match. That was not a match requirement, and most of the guys running with me chose not to run slings either. And there's no harm nor foul on that. One of the reasons I chose to run a sling on the rifle, even though it wasn't necessary, was one, the Viking Tactics sling is just an excellent sling. And two, taking it on and off the rifle, because I tape everything down, is kind of a pain in the butt. So I decided to leave it on and deal with it. And I've got to say straight up, at no point did the sling on the rifle give me any troubles whatsoever. Now, one of the features of the Galil that you think would be an advantage that turned out not to be is the safety selector. On this side of the rifle, the left side, you can see you have one you can operate with your thumb. As you can see here on the other side of the rifle, you have your standard traditional AK style flapper magazine release, safety that also functions as a dust cover. And in this side of the rifle, the right side, it works like the safety on every other AK. You flip it down for fire, you flip it up for safe. Where this safety caused me some problems, and when I say caused me some problems, it was my own actions, not the actions of the rifle, is on the left side, the thumb safety works exactly opposite of an AR safety. So on your AR, you flick down with your thumb and your rifle goes from safe to semi. However, if you flick forward on the Golani safety on the left side, it just goes further on safe. You have to flip it backwards to go to fire. So it's exactly opposite of an AR. And every stage I tripped myself up. If you go back and look at the videos I've already put out about the match, you can see everywhere where a gun comes up, I should come off safe, and oh, I'm fiddling around for a second or two to get it onto fire. Just because out of sheer muscle memory, I'm treating it like an AR instead of what it is. Now, something about the rifle you thought would have been a pain in the butt and caused problems, but really didn't, is that protective wing around the magazine release. You would think that that was going to cause you problems jamming your thumb, being all those sharp metal edges, but you didn't even notice it was there. Another thing nice about the magazine release on the Golani is this protrusion coming out the right side allows you to activate the magazine release with your trigger finger. Another nice feature about the Golani is its rear and front sights. you have aperture style sights instead of the leaf and post sights that you have on your standard AK. And this gives a nice sighting advantage. Also, you have a much longer sighting radius. In the rear, you have a flip-up aperture that has two settings, close range and long range. Plus, you also have a night sight that flips up. Now, there's supposed to be tritium inserts in these. These rifles are decades and decades old. The tritium inserts, not only are they gone, they would be long dead even if they were there. The front sight has a nice protective hood, so there's no chance of damaging it. Not exactly the same wing system that you have on an AK, but it still works. You also have the tritium night sight on that, which is just like the rear sight, long since dead and missing. A nice advantage that the Golani Galil system brings to the table, in addition to its superior aperture sights, is a much longer sight radius than your normal AK. Many AKs have their sights built here on the gas block, but then just right back here on the trunnion would be where the rear sight was. And really, that's just a little bit longer than normal pistol sight. So this extra sight radius really gives you some improved accuracy over your standard AK leaf and post sights. Another nice feature of the Galil Golani system is this, the upturned bolt handle. This gives you the ability to have ambidextrous operation of the rifle. You can be aimed in with your right hand staying on the trigger, reach over, and rack the bolt. As far as the trigger goes, it's all right. It's definitely better than your average AK by a long shot. Is it good as your average AR? At best, it's about an average AR trigger. But you know what? It's good enough for what it is. Red Oktober 2019 has already been announced. It's going to be the last weekend of October in 2019. I will definitely be there. I hope you all can make it as well. I'm not going to shoot this rifle next year because I can claim I've been there and done that. And since it's a match to celebrate the Kalashnikov, I'll probably be shooting a regular AK in some form next year. We hope you found this edition of Pegasus Test helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future firearms reviews.